I'm Coach Dave. Welcome back to Coach's Corner.
Come on.
Welcome to another episode of Coach's Corner. I'm Coach Dave McDonough. Once again, we appreciate all our subscribers, everybody following us out there. Drop your comments, any suggestions for future guests. We'll be happy to hear them, and we appreciate all the support. Today, I have one of the best 119 female amateurs in the country right here. I'm not going to say the state. I'm going to say in the country right now. We have 8-time national champion. She just won the Ring Masters in New York. I have Jaysha Zapata. Welcome to Coach's Corner. We appreciate taking the time out. I know you got a busy schedule. You got a lot of stuff coming up right now, but thank you for taking the time out today to join us here today. And, your career is really, from a distance, watching it as a young fighter, a young woman, very inspirational. Tell us a little bit about how boxing found you, because we'll get into where you are now, but what was the beginning like? I mean, what drew you to the sport?
So basically, when I was younger, my dad, he would always go into the gym and stuff, and I would be there with him. And I wanted to do it. And at 4 years old, he taught me my first combination, and he kind of went crazy over it.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, as I got older, I would watch Jesselyn Silva and Juana Walton a lot. And then that's what really drew me in. So then I kept on bugging him until he let me, because he thought I was soft. He was talking about no, you can't do it, you're a girl, this and the third, you're not ready. But then he gave in, and now look at him.
Well, as parents, I think it's, fighting is a tough sport, and, we're very protective and everything else. And I have 2 daughters, and, my younger daughter hounded me to fight. Never did. She was a lacrosse player, but she trained a lot. And I always felt I didn't want to expose her to the sport.
Yeah.
For whatever reasons. But so tell us about your first amateur fight. How does it lead up? And then your dad was a big part of your life, and still is as your trainer.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
How does that work? Because now he went from not wanting you to fight, and now here you are, and we'll talk about that. But how much time was it in between before you actually had your first bout?
So I had went into the gym, and he seen I was doing good, the first couple of months or whatever, and he put me into fight my 3rd month. So after 3 months of training, he put me into fight for my first fight, and I won. And then it hyped him up, and he got a little too excited. So, but it's okay. Now I'm here where I'm at.
Yeah. So, I mean, after all of this is starting to happen. How are you reacting to this? And we're going back a little bit. When you were younger, how are you taking to this now and saying, look, this is what I want to do? Or, you're just still being a kid and saying, yeah, we'll train a little bit, we'll fight here and there, whatever the case may be.
I've always been focused on it. I've always been 100%. So I still have that mindset where I just want to go to train and kick ass, because I hate training, honestly, but I love kicking ass. So I know for me to be able to kick ass, I have to work hard for that to happen. So
yeah. So was boxing always it, or was there any other sports, or did you mix, as you're going, or when did it become just boxing for you?
Well, when I was let's say elementary school, I would play basketball a lot, and I wanted to be on the team. But then that didn't happen. Boxing just really took over, and I never really looked at any other sport.
Yeah. I mean, look, your accolades are outstanding. You have fought a lot. How many amateur fights?
56.
I mean, that means you're putting in a lot of work and everything else. How does it go with the balance of your life? Because you're still a young woman. You're still in high school.
Yeah.
Right? You're a senior in high school, correct? Yeah. How do you balance it all out?
To be honest, at school, they really don't care when I go out for tournaments and stuff, because they're more of a sports school. They love sports. So they support me in it. But I just like kind of do my work when I get back home, like online and stuff.
Walk me through your training. Are you early morning before school? Is it after school?
Oh, no, not early morning before school.
Not
You would
early
not catch
morning.
me up at that time.
Oh, we got to talk to your father about that.
Well, I'll train like after school because early like in the morning is too early because I have to wake up like at 6 for school. So that means I have to wake up like at 4 in the morning, which I'm not doing.
Okay.
But but when I do train, I do work out very hard. Usually like I'll do my jump rope and my shadow boxing. Then we'll like do like bag work, we'll do mitts, I'll run, stuff like that. Like, the usual. I'll do my strength, weights and stuff. Push-ups. Yeah.
So, you're fighting at 119, let's call it 119, 120.
Yeah.
A lot of temptation out there to be a kid and enjoy yourself and everything. How are you maintaining your weight through this? Is it difficult for you? Is it challenging, and is it something you have to work on every day? Because, watching you over the last couple of years when you've been to our gym sparring, you always seem to be in very, very good shape.
Yeah.
You don't seem to be like, you're up and down. But how is it to maintain for yourself?
Usually, like, I stay around my fighting weight. I don't go up too high. Like, my walk-around weight is probably, like, 120-something, probably, like, about 125. Before, when I was fighting at 114, it was very difficult because I had to, like, not eat for a couple of days and stuff like that to be able to maintain my weight. But now that I'm at 119, it's not hard at all.
So they're not locking the cabinets at the house for you?
Yeah, no. I got to lock the cabinets for my dad, actually.
What's the cheat food? You know what? Because everybody, let's go to the question right there.
Yeah.
You're training. What's your go-to if, you're going to have a little something to say, okay, what's your cheat food?
Honestly, like, I be eating whatever I feel like eating.
Right.
That's how I don't know how sometimes I be on weight, because I'll just eat whatever. And it's insane the amount of food I eat. But I just eat whatever. And then when it comes down to make weight, like, I'll just make it.
That's awesome. So, so many accolades. And, as a national champion, and now, what do you see as, was it national championships, or was it, the win in the Garden for, ringmasters, or I'll call it Golden Gloves?
Yeah.
What do you see as the one that really stands out for you, that means something to you?
The one that really stands out, I would say, is like national championships for sure, because you get the belt at the end of the year with the sweater, and you also get to make the team. So
yeah,
that's like the biggest tournament of the year.
Those tournaments, walk us through a little bit about that for people who don't know what it's like to be in those national tournaments, and how you prepared for that, and when you were there. Now it's going on. How many times did you fight in that tournament to win it? Did you fight two or three?
For Ringmasters?
No, not Ringmaster, in the national one that you just talking. USA National.
Well, the last one, I don't know how many times I fought. I don't know if it was like straight to finals or twice. But usually you'll fight around like 3 times. It depends how many people are in your bracket and what you're ranked as. Because if you're ranked number 1 and there's like a odd amount, then they'll like give you a bye. But if there's an even amount, then...
So you're walking in as a favorite in these tournaments.
Yeah.
You got a target on your back. You got girls from all over the country coming and saying, Jaysha's here. We got to go through her to win this thing. How's that feel?
I love it because they think they're better than me. So, and it's just not like, they're not better than me. And I know that because I'm the best at my weight for a reason. Like, girls will come in and they'll be like, oh, she's number 1. That doesn't mean anything. It does, because I earned my spot. So it's just funny when they try to come in and think they're better than me.
Yeah. You act older than you really are as a fighter. And you have swagger, which I kind of like. You're very confident. And do you bring that into the ring? Because I know in the amateurs,
I know in the amateurs,
they're not really
Yeah.
talking smack so much. They kind of like,
Lay off. Yeah.
But I could kind of see you as, talking a little smack to your fighter or pre-fight or everything. Is that, something that you utilize to get in their heads or to get the advantage?
Honestly, like before the fight, I don't really talk smack to them. Like, I just remain humble. But like if they talk smack about me first, then yeah, I'm definitely going in.
You're going back
but
in.
after the fight, some of them do talk smack. And then when they talk smack, it's just like, bitch, you're dumb, because I literally just beat you up. But
yeah, I mean, look, if you look at your pedigree and everything else, and you come out of these tournaments, and people got to see what you've done and what you're doing right now. What do you feel right now in the women's boxing movement? Competition wise at the amateur level. What do you see at that? Is it challenging for you, or are you at the end of where maybe, I'm did everything I could do as an amateur and I'm thinking at the next level? What do you see?
Honestly, I want to keep doing like a couple more tournaments, because I just finished getting to the elite level, because I just turned 18. So I want to see what I got, even though I already know what I have. But I just want to put it to the test. But honestly, I don't think that they're like at a really like higher level than me. If anything, I think I'm at the same level as all the best ones, because I am the best for a reason.
Yeah.
And I proved it.
Yeah. I mean, look, you're still a young fighter, young woman. Is the Olympics a target now that we have Olympic boxing coming back?
No. Because I feel like I'm gonna be too old, honestly. I'm not trying to wait till I'm like 20-something, 24. Yeah. I could be like world champion at that point.
Yeah. So now your road is preparation. You have the Golden Glove National Tournament coming up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. What is your preparation for that now? What are you doing to prepare for that? Because now, obviously you have a lot of great accolades to your pedigree. One more, National Golden Glove champion is obviously another belt to put on for yourself. What are you working on right now? And who do you see as your competition? Is there anybody out there that you know of that possibly you fought before, know of, and that you're going to see in this tournament?
Honestly, what we usually always work on is just basics, because you can't really work on for one specific person. So basics is always going to get you through it, and just keeping it like on speed and power, like making sure you have both of them and making sure you have all your basics down. Like you could really beat anybody like that. And as far as the girls, I don't know who signed up for the Golden Gloves, but whoever is signed up in my weight class, like, they're not going to beat me. So I'm not really worried.
Yeah. So have you amped your preparation up? Is it the same, or you adding more running, you adding more training, conditioning, anything else? Or it's just basically, it's business as usual. We're doing what we do, and we're going to take it up when it comes fight time.
The only thing we really are working more on now is more strength. But what's really going to get me prepared is, camp coming up. So
yeah. And, I know you are heading out to camp. We'll kind of keep where you're going under wraps here right now. But what's your expectation there? And I'm sure you're excited.
Yeah.
Because we talked a little bit about it. I'm sure you're very excited. What's your expectation? You a little nervous?
Honestly, I'm not nervous at all. But I definitely know that the camp is going to tear my ass up. Like, without a doubt. But I'm excited for it, because I know I'm going to learn a lot and get a lot stronger. So
yeah. Well, for people who haven't seen you fight, and I watched some clips of your win in the Garden. Outstanding performance there.
Thank you.
And congratulations to that.
Thanks.
Tell us a little bit about your style. Tell people what your style is, and is there someone that you emulate as a fighter, or, someone you looked at and said, yeah, I like that type of fighter. I like how he or she fights, and I want to incorporate a little bit of that into what I do.
Well, usually, my boxing style, I just box from afar, because usually everybody I fight is a lot shorter than me, so there's no point on me to, get inside. But if I do need to fight and I need to get inside, then I bring out my inner Amanda Serrano,
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the blood, so
Yeah.
how can I not?
So you can go from the outside, you can fight on the inside, you
Yeah.
can bring the dog out in you.
Yeah.
Um,
I know you see the dog in me.
listen,
Yeah.
honestly, I have my opinion on how you fight, and
Yeah.
watching fighters like yourself who are still amateurs, and you're thinking of that next level, whether you finish out your amateur career right now is in a few more tournaments, but there is a future here. You're thinking of becoming a professional fighter.
Yeah.
So your style is definitely going to change and progress. Yeah, I think, what I see as a coach and probably what other people see, yeah, there is definitely a dog in you.
Yeah.
And at your weight class, with your height and your reach, you definitely could become a dominant fighter.
Yeah.
Women's boxing, you mentioned Amanda Serrano, and, women's boxing right now is very, very hot. And, I have seen this sport, and I have a very good friend of mine. She is a fighter, Maureen Shea. She was out of New York. She just fought professionally again about 2 months ago. She was on the cusp of female boxing when it wasn't as popular today. Now we have Jake Paul having an all-female card. Katie Taylor and Serrano fighting again for the third time. Two great fights. The first fight I was at. The second fight I watched. I mean, great. That first fight was just a phenomenal fight. So what are your thoughts as this is transpiring in front of you? Do people take female boxing seriously now?
I feel like definitely they're taking female boxing a lot more seriously, especially with like the last Katie and Amanda fight. I mean, yeah, Katie and Amanda fight. Because like just hearing people around that don't even like watch boxing, they were like just amazed to watch two girls really go at it like that. So that really made them really want to watch females boxing more.
Yeah, I look at it a little differently, right? As a coach, I don't look at it as two girls. I look at it as two fighters.
Yeah.
Okay, they happen to be women fighters. But that first fight, and I'm not taking anything away from the second fight either, first fight was one of the best fights I ever saw. I mean, those two fighters went at it, round after round. It was a close fight. I personally think there's a lot of talent out there in women's boxing right now. And I think it's gaining more and more popularity out there. And, I mean, you're in the gym. You're boxing with men and you're boxing with women. But, do you get that response from guys like, oh, till you get in a ring with them and then you start showing your skill?
Yeah, sometimes like there'll be some guys that I sparred before in the past, and they'll look at me like, oh, like, look at this girl, and then I'll get in, I'll put the business on them, and then they'll think otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, what's the reaction around school with you? Because is it like, are you questioned? Are you, you get the, oh, can she fight? Maybe she can't fight. I don't know. Is it, or are they scared of you?
Honestly, nobody questions me. They're actually scared, and I'm just like, everybody always like pulls that, oh, don't beat me up. Like,
yeah.
It's dumb, but at least I know I'm not being messed with.
Yeah, well, listen, you know what? You worked hard to get what you got to get there right now, and there's a lot of respect to be earned in this sport, whether you're a female or a male. When it comes to boxing, people always seem to question what a fighter can do, if they really can fight, if they can't fight. Everybody thinks that, oh, I can fight a little bit, this is easy, or whatever the case may be. But you're training now with Dad. Let's talk about that. How does that work? Because you're not the fighter he started. You're a different fighter.
Yeah.
And I know he's experienced, and I know your mom's involved with it. It's a family affair. But your evolution as a fighter and your ring IQ is pretty high.
Yeah.
You're a smart young lady. You're a smart fighter. Do you guys go back and forth? Because
all the time.
I know I've been around fighters that have dads as coaches.
Yeah.
It's a tough dynamic.
It's chaotic.
So talk us a little bit about that. I mean, when are you like not talk? I don't want to say talking back, but like, you know,
I would say we're like cat and dog. Like sometimes he'll tell me to do something. I'm like, bro, like I'm already doing it, and then it would like start a whole like argument, and there would be cat and dog, and my mom's like in the middle of us.
So your mom plays the referee.
Yeah, she plays the referee. Yeah.
Okay, I figured.
We got to give credit to her.
Yeah, she's got to try to keep the balance.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's talk about this. You're preparing for a fight now. Going to national tournaments, and now you're going to National Golden Gloves. You're going to be with other coaches.
Yeah.
You know, but you know when you're fighting with your dad as the head coach, how does that camp? Tell me about that camp, because that's what I know. Like you're getting ready for a tournament or a fight or a show or something. How do you guys balance that out, being, you know, father and daughter?
Well, like while he's training me, and I know I have like a huge tournament coming up, I know like I gotta hold my mouth. I can't say anything because I already know that I have to do what I, you know, like get told to do. Even if he's giving me like his sassy little attitude, I still gotta do it, which he always does. But you know, but then like if it's his like regular training aside from like a competition, then we're gonna both be going back and forth.
So does the conversation end when you guys come home from the gym, or does it just keep going at the dinner table? And
sometimes it drags out. You'll be surprised because he's sassy, I'm sassy, so it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, obviously he's done a great job with you.
Yeah.
You know, look to where you are now and, you know, where you're going. So, you know, he built that base. And, you know, from his standpoint, I can see, you know, wearing not only as a dad, but as a coach, he's got a double-edged sword there to balance, okay? He's worrying about you as his daughter, but also as his fighter. And you know what? We tend to push our kids a little bit more, I guess. It's just the way we are. But you know what? In his defense, it's a tough balance. So your sassiness, do you take that in with other coaches?
It depends. Like sometimes like some coaches say things I don't like and I just like they can't come around me anymore, honestly.
Like elaborate on that. What do you mean?
Like for example, one time I did like bad in sparring. I didn't do so good. And like, you know, it was a bad day. Everybody has their bad days. And some coach came up to me who's like, "Oh, like you look like shit in there." And I don't take that from nobody.
Yeah.
Like, not even my own dad would tell me that, even if I did bad after sparring. And mind you, this is a coach I don't even, like, know for real.
Mm-hmm.
And he's coming up telling me that. So, like, then next time he tried to say what's up to me, I just, like, walk past him because now you're not getting the same respect now because you didn't show me that respect.
Yeah. Yeah, understood.
And I don't expect anybody, like, to sugarcoat and be like, "Oh, no, you did good," even if I did bad, but don't talk to me like that either.
No, I think, honestly, look, I see a lot of different coaches. There's some great coaches out there. There's some bad coaches out there. It's just a blend of what happens out there. Coaching is a fine line. You have to be truthful to a fighter. Sometimes we got to hug them. Sometimes we got to kick them in the ass. It's just the way it is. But there's a way, I think, to get to a fighter if you're trying to make them better. You know, look, because fighters all have bad days.
Yeah.
You know, but at the end of the day, we're preparing you to fight.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that you're ready, you're safe, and that we did the best to get you there. I don't agree with the, you know, if you look like shit, I'm gonna tell you off to the side and say, you really didn't look too goddamn good out there today. What's going on or what? I'm not going to embarrass you in front of other people or anything like that. But,
what really got me, though, is the fact that he's a shitty coach. Like, you can't be a shitty coach telling me I did shitty when your hand pads themselves aren't good as they're shitty. Like,
yeah. So now with all of this going on, I mean, you got tournaments, you're going to graduate high school. If it wasn't boxing, what do you think it would be?
Honestly, I don't know. I'd probably be on my 600-pound life right now. Because I eat so much. But Yeah, I don't know. I probably honestly would have been doing basketball because I liked basketball, and I was gonna do it like in high school, but then I thought about it and like I didn't want to get hurt while doing boxing, and like sometimes the ball like hits your finger and it bends back, or you
Yeah.
twist the ankle or
Twist an
something like
ankle,
that.
turn your
Yeah,
knee. Yeah, it's just,
I
So
wasn't
now,
gonna risk it.
yeah, that's smart. Really smart attitude right there. I mean, your focus is right now. Um, Next level for you, professional level.
Yeah.
Where do you see that you got to be better, to be that elite fighter? And let's talk about your heritage, your Puerto Rican heritage. Are you the next Amanda Serrano? How about that one for a loaded question, Jaysha? Huh?
Nah, I'm the next Jaysha, honestly. Um, but I think I'm like good where I'm at. Probably just need some more sharpening, as anybody could, you know, need. But I think I'm good where I'm at right now. Honestly, I think if I would go pro tomorrow, I would kick half these girls' asses.
To maintain that, that's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Are you ready to maintain that lifestyle?
I mean, I've been maintaining it all this time, so nothing new. It's been my lifestyle.
Interesting. So now we have the tournament coming up. What's the predictions here?
I'm winning.
You're winning.
Like there's nothing else. There's nothing else to it. I'm winning.
I love your confidence. I really do. And I'm putting you on the spot. If you notice, I'm putting you on the spot because I like that. I like a fighter who has swagger and confidence in themselves.
Yeah.
Let me throw something at you here, since you've been a very successful fighter. If you take a loss, and the word I said was if.
Yeah.
What does that do to you, and how do you react to that?
Honestly, like the times I have lost, it doesn't like bring me down. Like I don't get depressed and I don't get in the shower and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm so bad or whatever. I honestly just take it like as in I had a bad day. Let me just get back and sharpen up. There obviously must have been something I didn't do to win.
Yeah.
So
And look, with the amateur level,
yeah.
And I'm not ragging on judges or anything like that, but
Some of them don't know how to judge.
We
Some of
know,
them be sleeping.
you said it. I
Not
didn't
saying
say
no
it.
names, but
You're right. You're right about
Yeah.
that. We win fights we're supposed to lose, and we lose fights that we're,
yeah.
But I get that part of it right now.
Yeah.
How do you feel with that? With USA Boxing and the judges, you've been around and you've been doing this, and you've been in these national tournaments. What's your take on that right now? Because there's a lot of people on the fence of, like what you said,
Yeah.
and people are donating their time. But I feel if you go to another sport, baseball, basketball, football, the referees are trained, they're professionals.
Yeah.
It's cut and dry. Boxing is not cut and dry. I mean, you've been around fights, you've been in them yourself, you've seen fights where scorecards come out and like, holy shit, what the hell were they watching? What's your take on that? I mean, you've been around nationally. How do you see that?
Well, honestly, like I feel like a lot of it also has to do with the fact that they don't get paid. So some of them, like you'll watch them, and some of them will be sleeping with their mouth wide open in the chair, and it's like you're supposed to be watching the fight. So this is why, like, some kids, they'll lose fights are meant to win, or if not that, like a lot of the referees, you got to remember they're like regular people just like us, so they'll know the fighter personally and they'll give it to the fighter even if they lost just because they know them. So that's how they become favorites, because the referee will know the fighter and would just give it to them.
Yeah. Currently, right now, you've been through the tri-state area, training at different gyms, seeing different fighters. Who do you see out there that, as a fighter, you see coming up promising, whether it's a pro or an amateur? Who do you like to watch? Who do you like to see besides Amanda Serrano in the sport?
That's a good question. Honestly, I like watching a lot of the amateurs, like especially the young ones, the little kids, because I feel like they got more like attitude to them. Like they want to show they're the best. And I would say probably Jalicia. She's really good. She's a little amateur. She puts in a lot of work. She goes everywhere for training and stuff, and she's very good. Another one that I've seen, she's on TCL right now, so you know what that is, right? You're familiar
Yeah,
with
I
it?
actually worked the event Saturday night in Philadelphia again with the New York team
Yeah.
against LA.
Another one I would say, Shara May, she's been doing really good. She's been doing good since amateur, and she brought it up to her to TCL. She's doing amazing. Yeah, and those are fighters like I've seen like for years already, and it's
I mean,
amazing how they do.
you've been in the gym. I mean, your home gym's Champs Rochelle. Is that
So what?
your home gym where you train basically at is in Champs Rochelle?
You said what?
Your home gym.
Yeah, my home gym.
That's your home gym.
Yeah, that's my home gym.
But I mean, Ryan O'Leary, shout out to him and the guys down there. A lot of top talent coming through there.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot of it throughout this, the tri-state area and everything else. There as a pro, besides Amanda, who are you looking at that that style, that fighter, male or female? Yeah, I like to watch that, and they're fighting.
I like Gervonta a lot and Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor, it's funny because Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano are both one of my favorites. So when they first had their first fight, I was like so hyped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were lucky to have Katie in our gym a couple of times sparring, and she trains out of Connecticut. To watch her up close, very, very talented, very humble advocate of the sport. But let me flip it a little bit here. Now, you see yourself as a role model to female fighters, younger fighters coming up?
I'd say so.
Do they come up to you and say, "Hey, what kind of advice can you give me? I'm starting out, or I'm not sure, or do you train younger fighters? Do you work with them? I know you're focused on your career, but in the gym, I'm sure people, they want to know. Do you see yourself as that role model?
I definitely have a lot of like younger fighters that do look up to me, and they do like watch me and support me, and they kind of learn from me a little. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Who was your inspiration growing up as a young woman in the sport? I mean, basically Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, they were still unknown as you're coming up through the ranks.
Yeah,
it hasn't been who were you able to say, this is who I want to emulate myself or be like in some aspect growing up as a young fighter?
The first one I ever heard about was Claressa Shields, obviously, she's the GOAT. And then behind her, I heard about like Mikela Mayer. And so those two were like ones I really watched a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely, Mikela Mayer, Claressa Shields, high level, have put women's boxing on the map. I mean, that last fight Mikela Mayer fought was outstanding. She was dominant on the inside, strong, fast. I mean, just outstanding performance from her. Who would you, if you had to pick somebody to fight now, who would you pick?
Like a pro fighter?
Yeah, pro, amateur, pick somebody out the hat. Who would you say, hey, that's the one I want?
Honestly, let me think. I haven't thought about this one yet.
Yeah.
There's money.
All right, I'll let you hold on that.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Think about it.
Here's one thing I'm going to say, right? This, speaking with you, just I never really had a conversation with you outside of, of today. But, talking to you here right now, you seem to be a student of this game. When you're not training, is it boxing that you're very well versed on who's out there and what they're doing, pro fighters, amateur fighters, what's happening in the sport? Is this something that like you're totally, this is what I do? And, because a lot of fighters you talk to, your age, they don't know who some of these fighters are. They don't know when events are going on. They don't know where they started or how they started. You know what I mean? If they're not reading about it on social media, they really don't know the history of the sport.
Yeah.
Do you feel that, the history of boxing is important to you?
Yeah, I believe it's important because, you get to see, like, how it changed, and you get to be, like, more grateful for, like, the things you have now versus, back then. So.
Yeah. You feel right now, like, look, let's talk a little bit about things right now. The generation of your age group right now is not one of sacrifice.
Yeah.
Everybody, look, and I have kids in the gym. They want to, everything has to be instantaneously, right? We have social media, we want why this, that, the other thing, you know what I mean? Do you feel right now well, let's not even say like that. As a young fighter, you've made sacrifices to be where you are.
Yeah.
I'm sure, socially, family-wise, you have made sacrifices. How is that compared to other people out there? I mean, people outside of boxing don't see what goes on for you to prepare for a fight, whether it's an amateur or a pro, or what you got to go through to make 119. Are there days that you want to just say, man, I don't know anymore. I'm just, or is it you're able to make those sacrifices?
I'm able to make those sacrifices. Like, some days I get lazy, but I feel like that's with everybody.
Yeah, that's a natural thing.
I know I, like, have to push through it to be the best if I want to be the best. Just like right now, I'm missing prom to go to camp. But to be honest, I see it's worth it because I prefer to be in camp than go to prom because I already know going to camp, I'm going to learn from it, and it's going to help my career. It's going to build it. So,
yeah.
In the long run.
Who's the one, all right? And I don't know. When you're at that point, who's the one pumping you up?
My dad. Yeah.
In a sassy way? Or
always sassy. He's always sassy.
Really?
Even when he sleeps, he sleeps like a little princess.
I figured maybe it was your mom who played the one that had to come in and, smooth it over at point.
My mom, she's always like the sweet one,
Yeah.
My dad, he's sweet at times, but always sassy.
Yeah.
He'll be sweet sassy.
So, look, let's give your mom.
But in a loving way.
Yeah, I understand that. Let's give your mom some credit here too, because, look, how is it for her when you decided to box, right?
Yeah.
And what was her reaction of this as it started to get really deep? And I know she's there with you and your dad, and was it right away, you go do what you got to do, we're here, or was it a little tentative and,
She always supported. Like, from the beginning, she always supported. Like, as soon as I said I wanted to do it, she was like, go for it. Because she wanted to do it herself. Right. So she doesn't see any problem with me going out to do it. I mean, yeah, she does, like, worry about my safety and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, she knows I'm the best. So she knows what I got. She just gets, like, super nervous when I'm going to fight at nationals because it's, like, the biggest events,
Yeah. So, let's hit that for a second again. As a fighter, like I have my own theory as a coach, right? Like as fighters that evolve, right? Fighters, because there's different levels of fighters. There are going to be people that are going to fight, and you know what? They're going to have a good amateur career. There's going to be no aspiration of them going any further. They just want to fight on club shows. There are people that want to fight, at elite level. There's everything else, and what is your take? Because you've had both. You've started locally and now have evolved into a national fighter. Do you feel competitively wise it's better to be at these national tournaments than to fight on these local shows?
For sure.
Can you keep, where do you see, like, when you obviously started on local shows and now you evolved into a fighter, where do you see the difference?
I see the difference, like, in competition wise, because I feel like a local show, like, they're probably not like nationally ranked, and not saying they're not good if they're not nationally ranked or anything like that, but like where the most of the competition is nationals, because it's like the best of the best trying to compete to get to that number one spot. But wait, what was the question? I forgot.
Where do you feel the competition is better? So you
Oh,
basically
yeah.
kind of answer that. What I'm kind of saying too is like, I don't believe as a coach that once you catch a fighter, say of your stature,
Yeah.
right? We need to be fighting meaningful fights, whether they're nationally ranked shows, national tournaments, an exclusive type show. Like, I don't believe that you should have hundreds of amateur fights, because I think some of those 100 amateur fights are watered down.
Yeah.
They're not helping you grow.
Yeah.
Whereas if you fought, 30 to 60 times as an amateur, but fought at a high level,
Yeah.
the majority of that time, you're growing.
You're getting the best level at nationals because you're fighting with the best of the best. And like a lot of these people that go to nationals, like they've been going to nationals for years, so they got a lot of experience. So when you're like on the bottom and you're coming up and you fight that number one seed, that's actually like the best thing for you, because it's people you probably won't even get to like spar because they're like states away, and that's where you really get to like test your level at. And also with nationals, like a side fight, you'll fight once, boom, finish. Nationals, depending how many people are in your bracket, you could fight even like 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row, and that really tests you to see like where you are.
So, that's a funny thing you should say is like, look, we had a fighter fighting in the same tournament, National Golden Glove tournament, and fought 4 days in a row, made it to the finals, and unfortunately came up short in the finals, but it is a tough road to get there in your bracket if there's a lot of people in your
body
bracket.
Gets broken down over the days.
And then, in your case, I mean, this fighter we had didn't have to make weight. He was a heavyweight.
Yeah.
But in your case, you got to make weight every day.
Yeah, you got to make weight every day.
You got to make,
also,
so it's not like you fought and say, I can go home or I'll have a little this, that. You got to go home, heal back up, and if you're fighting the next day, get yourself together and get ready to do it again.
And also with that, I feel like the more like, let's say you fight the first day, you're good. You haven't fought, you're not sore, you're perfectly fine, great condition. But like the further it gets into the days, that's like where the brain fog really hits, the like muscles being sore hits, the like cutting the weight. If you like really need to like cut weight, then that's gonna drain you too. So that really shows where you're at, like, in a physical level. And even mentally too.
More of just with a point that you're hitting, like this sport is not only physical but mental.
Yeah.
You got to have both part of it, obviously. Your mental aspect, your preparation for a fight, you're there. Walk us through yours. Like, you get there, you weigh in.
Yeah.
What's your, once you weigh in and you got to go to, what do you do up till fight time? What's your meal? What's your routine? Like, I've been around a lot of different fighters. Yeah. We all have different. Are you pleasant to be around, or is it like, you need to be by yourself and it's like, okay, she made weight, go to the room and just relax? What does it for you?
Honestly, since weigh-ins is like at 6 a.m, the first thing I do is drink my Pedialyte. Can't drink half of it. You got to drink the whole bottle. That's the trick. Then after that, I go eat a big meal.
You got a favorite meal?
Nah.
No?
No, not really.
No, there's no pre-fight meal that, it's just wherever you are and whatever?
It's whatever I want to eat, honestly. I'll eat whatever, yeah. Then I'll sleep because at nationals, I'll fight at 6 o'clock. So later in the day. So I got 12 hours in between. And then it also depends what bout I am. But I'll just sleep mostly throughout the day. And if I do go to the fights, I'll talk to the people. But right before my fight, when I'm going to go fight, I like to be locked in. So I don't really like people coming up to me and getting me out my zone, talking to me and being like, oh, hey, what's up? I'll still say what's up, whatever, but I don't really like to be bothered. I like to be in my zone. I like to be locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Superstitions? Any superstitions?
No, not really.
No?
No.
Nothing.
I just have my lucky monkey, you know? It's a stuffed animal.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that goes with you?
Yeah, it goes with me.
All right. But now, tomorrow you leave.
Yeah.
You're gone for a couple of weeks, and then you get ready to go again.
Yeah.
After nationals, what are you thinking? Not to put the...
Just seeing what's around, you know? Like, any other, like, fights or, like, nationals, you know? I'm trying to, like, get a couple more fights this year and see where I'm at in the elite level.
Physically, right now, your recovery from all these camps and fighting and everything else, are you doing anything besides, you know, resting to recover your body? Recovery is becoming a very important aspect of athletics right now. And as a young fighter, you know, you're wearing and tearing your body every day. Because pretty much you're training 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Does he give you a day off?
Sometimes. Like, if he feels like it. But when we have tournaments, he doesn't give me a day off at all. But when I don't have any tournaments, I only get a day off. But that's enough.
Yeah. So in between boxing, right, because you seem so locked in and you're busy at this every day doing it, okay? If there's something not going on, how does that affect you? Does that, okay, I got a little rest, or you antsy? Does it like, okay, when are we going to get back? Or...
Oh, no, I take my rest days.
You take your rest days?
Yeah, because I work so much already. Like, so when I do get, like, the rest, I'm definitely going to take it. So, yeah.
What's your rest day like? Are you away from the house? Are you away from mom and dad? What is it that you know, everybody has their little thing that they do, that they're a little bit of peace. That what is it for you?
So if my brothers want to hang out, I will hang out with them. But if not, I'll just, like, lay in bed, be big and eat all the food I can eat. And then, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. How many brothers do you have?
I have 2 brothers.
And older, younger?
Older.
And what's their take on this? Are they involved in your training or with your dad, or they have an opinion, or it's like, yo, just stay?
They stay on the side, honestly. They're not involved at all, but they do support me, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you take them?
Can I take them? Like...
Yeah, can you take them?
If I can beat them up?
That brotherly, sisterly thing, come on.
Oh, I definitely beat them up all the time.
There you go.
They can't take me. Like,
they can't take you.
I'm the younger sister, but they know not to mess with me. So they stay put.
So let me ask you, I'm going to really mess with you now. What happens when they bring their girlfriends around?
They don't have any.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just not bringing them around for you.
Yeah, maybe. I'll find out.
No. So let me ask you this. After boxing, what do you think it is for you? And that's a while, but you know what? There's got to be a life for you somewhere that you're thinking about. Like, after I do all of this, what do you want to do?
Probably, like, I don't know. Probably, like, open up a business or something.
Do you see yourself being a coach?
Not really. But if it does happen, you know. I mean, I don't see it, like, as in, like, I completely doubt it.
Yeah.
Like, I could see myself being a coach after it. But I'm not sure.
Because of your experience and what you went through.
Yeah.
Definitely it'll be there to be, you know.
It'll be an option.
To hand that on to somebody, because I think right now what's happening in boxing is we're not building the coaches anymore.
Yeah.
Okay? The older coaches are not building younger coaches the way, and I'm old because, look, when I started in this game, right, you just shut your mouth and did whatever the coaches did. They carried a bucket, do whatever. You had to earn your rite of passage. You know what I mean? Like, before, you know, anybody let you even don't even talk to the fighter, right? Just, you know what I'm saying? But I think because of social media today and everything else, coaches are boxing. People think that they're a boxing coach.
Yeah.
You know, because they hold pads. I'm a coach.
Some of them can't even hold them the right way.
And some of them can't even coach.
Yeah.
But you know what? They're like, you know, but that's a whole different thing. But I think we're losing that. Social media.
Yeah.
How do you think that affects you? Are you as I think today it's a big aspect as a fighter. You have to have you're the fighter, you're the brand, you're the
Yeah.
business. Okay, as an amateur, possible pro, you're the business. How do you handle your social media? Is that a big part of what you guys do? Are you handling it, or is it something that it's not that important to you right now?
Well, I mean, it hasn't been that important to me, but as of lately, is like something I'm definitely like building up on now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I realized how important social media actually is, because that's really where everybody is, honestly.
Well, you know what? Like, especially for yourself, you're traveling now, right? You go to these
Yeah.
tournaments, people could see. It's a good aspect as far as, look, the journey to being a fighter is tough. Is there's an expense in it. There's, training expense. There's equipment expense, traveling expense. There's a whole bunch of stuff going across the board here where, social media can definitely help you out a little bit there. But to brand you,
Yeah.
out there and, you know, let the public see you. What's the response when you travel these tournaments? People know who you are now?
Yeah, for sure. Like at nationals, everybody knows who I am. Even like when we go to like side fights, like people know me. Sometimes I have like random people coming up to me talking about some, hey, are you like this girl? And I'm like, how do you even know me? So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's got to be a good feeling that you're making an impact on
Yeah.
people out there. As a young athlete out there, as a young woman. I mean, we go back to the role model thing. You're gonna wear a lot of different hats going forward now.
Yeah.
Do you see that in you? Because you're a very humble young lady.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think about that, or is it just something like, oh, thank you, okay.
Well, yeah, I think it's important for younger fighters coming up having somebody to look up to, because sometimes they'll have their parents or their coaches being a little too hard on them, and maybe they could have somebody they could talk to that does the same thing they do to lift them up. So I think that's important.
Yeah. What was your favorite place that you've been to travel and fight in?
Um, to fight in, I like Florida. Yeah, even though it's ass hot over there, I like it. It's like, just the area, the vibe is cool.
Yeah, as a fighter, right? Well, we're going to kind of wrap it up here a little bit, but I want to ask you a question. And, people give advice, people ask for advice. If you were going to give advice to somebody, a fighter, another athlete, an individual, male or female, what would that advice be of that helped you and is helping you right now?
I would say, like, aside from like the training stuff, like, take more care, because I feel like a lot of people don't do it, but pay attention more to like your mental health and take care more of your mental health rather than anything else, because as long as you're good in the head, then you'll be good in whatever you do.
Awesome. So, we talked about your social media. Why don't you kind of tell everybody what you got going on, where we can find you? National Golden Gloves coming up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Give us the dates. It'll be streamed. Shout yourself out right now. Shout your team out, whoever you want. Give a little love to. You got the mic now. Go.
So, Golden Gloves will be from the 12th to the 18th. My Instagram is Jaysha, pretty sure is _Z or _Z. I don't even know, but it's one of those. Shout out to my sassy dad. Love him, but yeah. Shout out to him for always being in my corner, and shout out to all the girls from Champs and my head coach for always sticking there and giving me the sparring, because honestly, nobody else wants to give me work. So thanks to them.
All right, Jaysha. Well, listen, we really, really appreciate you coming on Coach's Corner today. We're excited to watch you. Keep an eye on this young lady.
You heard him.
We love her confidence. And look, after you win Nationals, Golden Gloves, we definitely want to have you back here.
Yeah, for sure.
Keep an eye on her career. We are definitely going to see what noise she can make in the boxing world. Definitely a rising prospect here as an amateur and potential pro. You know, once again, we want to thank our subscribers and our sponsor, Farmer Strength, for, you know, being here. My guys from Tough Tony Pallone, Neil Pallone, thank you for the shirt. Appreciate
you see the shirts? They're looking nice.
Yeah. Tough Tony team. Shout out to them guys and my guys, you know, Matt and Ian from Creative Evolution here. And this is Coach Dave. Train hard, train smart, and we'll see you in the next round.